Hey guys, it's Kelsey the Happy Hobbit, and I am back on my channel. And it feels like it's been years and years and years, and it hasn't. It's only been like one, but that's still a lot, I feel like. So I am back. I've had a lot of changes in my life, some bad things that put me towards the best spot I've ever been in, and I am just ready to bring back some of the things that I enjoy doing and that I loved, and booktube and bookstagram being two of those things. That is why I'm here today, and I figured I would start it back up with a tag because those are always easy to just get back into things with. I decided to look up a quarantine book tag because I am very much in quarantine right now, as are, most of you, I'm sure. There were tons of options for this when I searched booktube, and the one that I ended up liking was from a channel called Taylor Talks Tales, and she created this tag herself, and she pretty much challenged anybody who wanted to participate. So that's what I'm gonna do, and you're all challenged to participate as well. Our first question is, what are your quarantine bookish plans? My plans are literally just to read 3 books. My motivation during this quarantine has been like next to nothing. So just reading 3 books I'd be happy with. We don't know when this is going to end. So if I read more, that's great. But I don't want to set any high bars that just feel unrealistic right now, because I am not a consistent reader or a fast reader. So 3 is good. We'll stick with 3. What was your last acquired book or bookish item before lockdown? Well, my last trip to any kind of book place was an outlet. These 3 here were the ones I was very excited about. So the first one is called Under the Knife by Kelly Parsons. I was immediately interested when I saw this because I recently listened to a podcast called Dr. Death, which is by Wondery. And it is an investigative reporting kind of podcast where they talk about this neurosurgeon. This is a true story. It's a neurosurgeon who seriously maims and in some instances kills the patients that he is operating on. So it's this whole thing about how this happened, how long it went on for, and why it was allowed to go on for that long. So did he do it on purpose? Did he not? You'll have to listen to the podcast and kind of form your own opinion on that. But my boss and I were fascinated with it, and we couldn't stop talking about it. So it was definitely on my mind when I found this. The next book is Before the Devil Breaks You by Libba Bray. This, I believe, is the 3rd book in the Diviners series. I have the first 2. I just needed this one to complete the collection. So that is why I got this. And the 3rd is George Lucas, A Life by Brian J. Jones. This book I saw at the last second when I was checking these books out. I actually got this from my fiance Dylan. He is a reader himself, and he's a big Star Wars fan, so I thought this would be really, really cool for him to read. He's reading another Star Wars book right now, so maybe when he gets done with that, he'll read this. Those are the last 3 books I acquired before we got locked down. Question 3, name your favorite fictional book with a virus or a spreadable infection. This one came to mind immediately, even though I have not read this in years. I remember reading The Forest of Hands and Teeth by Carrie Ryan when I was in like very early high school, maybe. But basically it's about this kind of post-apocalyptic world where there's these people that are confined to a village and they can't go past the fence that surrounds the village because there is this group of beings called the unconsecrated. They're basically zombies. So if that tells you anything, zombies, infection, virus, spread, disease, pretty much what this is. I can't say that I will read any virus or infection based books in the next several months or years or ever based on what's going on right now, but if you do, have fun. Next question is, list your top 5 books on your TBR during quarantine. My first one is The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell. That is what I'm reading right now. I'm about 50% done with it, so hopefully we can move on to the next one, which is Under the Knife by Kelly Parsons, which you saw. Number 3 is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. 4 is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, and 5 is Wild Card by Marie Lu. I'm really excited for that one because I loved Warcross. It was so good. Question 5, if you ran out of books to read during quarantine, what would you reread first? And the shelves behind me. Most of these I have not read. A good amount I have not read. So I don't think I'm going to have that problem. However, if I did, I would reread Harry Potter. I think anyone who is a Harry Potter fan tends to go back to Harry Potter for comfort. It's kind of easy to return to, and definitely a warm, fuzzy feeling for Harry Potter fans. So I would go back to Harry Potter. Question 6, name an underappreciated book that you hope becomes viral in the BookTube community someday. Now, I just kind of came back into the BookTube community, so I haven't really surfed to see if this book has been talked about a lot, but I recently read Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris, and it was a book recommended to me by a work client, and on a whim, I saw it at Barnes & Noble, and it was on sale, so I was like, oh, heck yeah. And I think I read that book in 3 sittings, which for me is quite the feat because I don't read like that. But it was such a psychological cat and mouse, fast-paced read for me. I wish the ending was a little different. I'm not going to give anything away, but I still think it was great enough for me to read it that quickly. I hope to see people talk about that. It's rated 4.5 out of 5 on Goodreads, which I base a lot of my book picking off of those reviews. It was good to see that, and we'll see. If it's not talked about yet, maybe I'll talk about it. And the final question is, if you ended up getting sick, what book or books would be your comfort reads? And again, probably Harry Potter. I hope I don't get sick. I hope you don't get sick. I hope nobody you know gets sick. But those are Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings, maybe, would be the books I would go to. But usually if I'm like sick, like I'm not doing anything other than laying on the couch and eating soup and drinking ginger ale and sleeping. So, but if I was well enough to read, that's what I would read. And those are all 7 questions. Thank you guys for hanging out and listening to what I had to say about those questions. Feel free to do this tag as well. Again, I'm going to put Taylor Talks Tales down below. I haven't looked at a ton of her videos yet, but I really did like what I did watch. So go check her out, please, and give her some BookTube love. And hopefully I'll have another video up for you guys soon. We'll see. We're taking it day by day. We're doing the best we can. So I hope you all are doing the same. I hope you stay safe and healthy. And I will hopefully be back soon. This happy hobbit will catch you later. Bye. BookTube is some hard work, man. This is my 3rd time recording this.